Come on, get it turned in nicely. Whoa, big kick of oversteer there as I tried to feed the throttle in. Hey guys, Adrian Racing here, back today with another video. This weekend just gone was the annual Spa 6 Hours Classic, not to be confused with the Spa Classic, which is run in the same format as the Le Mans Classic, which I went to a couple of years ago. This is a separate event which showcases the best of what classic endurance race cars can do. Supported as well by a bunch of historic Formula 1 cars, touring cars, and even the Masters Endurance Legends grid, which is just sweet as all hell. The Spa 6 Hours is, as it sounds, it is a 6-hour race around the Spa-Francorchamps circuit featuring cars such as the Ford GT40, E-Type Le Mans, Ferrari 250s, Bizzarrinis, Mustangs, Cobras, Elans, MGs, everything you can think of from mid-60s sports car racing hurtles around the circuit with some of the best drivers. Now, unfortunately, this event is not broadcast anywhere, so it's kind of slipped under the radar for me for the past few years until I saw an onboard from Alex Brundle driving his GT40 to the absolute limit and sometimes beyond around this Spa racetrack while fighting wheel to wheel, tooth and nail against other drivers, other GT40s in the multi-class traffic. And I sat and watched the whole 10-minute onboard from the race start and was absolutely blown away. Now, the beauty of sim racing means that I get to take the tiniest percentage of that experience and experience it myself here at home. So I have launched up Assetto Corsa. I am in the Kunos GT40 with a slight sound mod just to make it that bit more gruntier against a bunch of other classic 60s sports cars for a 6-lap race here at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. So without further ado, let's hop in our GT40, fire up that thunderous V8 and go racing. Alrighty then, here we are on the grid. We are quite near the back. We've got a GT40 to our left. We've got Porsches ahead. We've got MGs behind. And it is flag dropped. And away we go. And already AI are going to struggle here. I know that. They don't like multi-class and slower cars. We're just going to try and find a gap to slide into it. We're passing Elans. We're passing Mustangs. We're passing, I think there was an E-Type there as well. And now we are just trapped in behind these two Mustangs, which is fine. Through Eau Rouge, and we're just going to keep it in second, get the switchback, and now, goodbye Mustangs. Here is what over 400 horsepower of 60s American muscle looks like. We're in the slipstream of what looks to be, is that one of the Ferraris? Yes, it is one of the Ferraris. We've got another one ahead of us, and now we're going to have to brake nice and early as the Ferrari comes back at us up the inside. Tap of the, oh, that's an expensive tap against the 250. That is not going to do great on the insurance policy. Oh, what did you hear? Oh, I just hear classic 60s 250 Ferrari. No biggie. Anyway, down to Bruxelles hairpin. We've got an E-Type ahead of us. We've got another E-Type ahead of us as we go very deep. A little bit more contact. I am driving very scrappily right now. God, such understeer as the other E-Type tries to come back us up the inside. Up the inside of another 250. Just listen. Oh, that V12 absolutely sings. But our V8 absolutely roars, and we can just absolutely pull away from the Ferrari. Now down into Pouhon we go. Oh, you can just see absolutely no grip on these cold bias ply tyres. They provide no grip. What they do provide is a lot of fun and a lot of enjoyment and a lot of sliding. Now we've got another GT40 ahead of us. We've got the E-Type up the inside. You can always look into the whites of the driver's eyes. I love VR absolutely so much. This is the closest I will ever get to feeling, to being what Alex Brundle felt like on the weekend just past. Oh, just look at the Dunlop stickers on that Bizzarrini there. Stabilo 2, car moving around all over the place, and now finally up through the gears we go. Rev this thing out until the Fury gets absolutely no more, and then bang it into fourth. But straight away back down to third because the traffic is building up ahead, and Blanchimont is coming up completely flat in pretty much most modern top-end sports cars, but definitely not in this. Maybe we can send this up the inside. Definitely not. The only problem with these braking zones, they're so long, it's really hard to find a port. The E-Type gets stuck all over the curb. And that is the first lap completed. Onto the second lap we go. We've got a Cobra ahead of us. I nearly money shifted that into first then. That would not have been good. Cobra ahead. Maybe we can sneak one up the inside into La Source. He gives us the space. We've got the understeer and he gets the better exit. Those things have fair power. Luckily we managed to make it through. Not as much power as we have though, unfortunately. We have a big 4.8 litre naturally aspirated V8. Oh, look at the small little Elan. Oh, it's so cute as we go mildly understeering off Eau Rouge. Past the number 12 GT40. I feel like I'm Christian Bale playing Ken Miles in Ford versus Ferrari as we get a little tap from the Elan as he tries to take back to the racing line, but we come absolutely charging through. 200-metre mark, there it is. Down to second. Oh, car dancing away under the brakes. Just stabbing at the throttle, trying to find some rotation. Oh, that's a bit too much rotation. Come on, car, hold it together. Woo. Just about make it stick. And now I think we're just going to take it a little bit easy into Bruxelles this lap. Come on, use that throttle, get the car rotated. Second gear early, try and find a little bit of traction into the shadows behind the trees. And you can just see into the hills, into the mountains in the Ardennes forest. God, Spa is such a beautiful track. I want to get here one day. I want to go to this event next year. I'd absolutely love that. This has definitely become one of the most underrated historic racing events. Oh, number 8, E-Type ahead of us, dabbing the brakes on the exit. That's going to give us the run, but his lighter weight, his agility is going to help him. Oh, as we go sailing off, is he going to come back at us? I try and check the right-hand mirror. He's still there. He's still there. But this thing doesn't have side mirrors, so all we've got to check is that center mirror. So Stablo 1, oh, lots of understeer. Oh, lots of understeer. I'm not good at driving these classic cars as we take a wheel into the gravel there and almost lose it. Come on, car, hold it together. Now we can finally get that power down once again. And you can just see the beauty of this circuit. And one thing you may notice is the sun is starting to get a little low. The sky is starting to get a little bit golden. Maybe we can try fourth gear through through Blanchimont, sorry. Take all the exit and a little bit more for good measure. Now brake around maybe the banner. Down to second, down to first. Maybe a little bit later than that, actually. I can hear a car up the inside. Where is it? Is it that GT40? It is that GT40. It's got past the E-Type. On to lap 3 we go already. The lap's absolutely flying by here. Down to second, once again down to first. Sounds like we've got a car on our inside. This could be a very nice battle indeed with this silver GT40 behind. We're going to try and get the hammer down now, catch these cars ahead, and I am sweating already in this VR headset. I absolutely love it. These cars are an absolute workout, especially here with this DD wheel set really high, just to get an inkling of the feeling of what the force is and the physical strain to drive these classic cars. Your manual gearbox, your heel towing, you're fighting the car constantly, and all in what is essentially brakes absolutely not working at all there into Les Combes. That's going to leave us vulnerable behind, but the sun starting to sink below the clouds now. And you're just seeing how much of a struggle it is to drive these cars. Oh, a little bit of a lock up there. Of course, no ABS. Of course, no traction control. As I was saying, not even slick tyres. Nothing in the way of downforce. Just a big V8, a big steering wheel. And the only thing to make your car drive quicker is the pair between your legs. Down into Pouhon. Again, my favourite corner on the circuit. The way it just drops away on the exit and then cambers up again to give you all that grip, but you don't want to go too wide. That curve there, absolutely deadly if you hit it in the wrong place. Spit of flame I see from the GT40 ahead of us as we are slowly gaining. Come on, get it turned in nicely. Whoa, big kick of oversteer there as I tried to feed the throttle in. This car, an absolute monster. You have to just give the utmost respect to the drivers back in the day and the drivers now that go racing in these things. Wheel to wheel, no matter the cost, these things are absolutely priceless now. Spare parts, hard to come by. And they provide the entertainment for us. They provide the action for themselves, the thrill. I did see a quote. Someone asked Alex in the Twitter replies, does it ever bother you that you're driving what is essentially 10, 15, sometimes double that £1 million worth of car, and they don't care. They're racing drivers. They're paid to go racing. In fact, sometimes they just pay to go racing because that's what they love, and that's what I love and what I would love to do one day. But for now, this is the best we're going to get. Nowhere else in the world am I ever going to be able to drive a GT40 at Spa at sunset. Just look at the sun setting over the trees at the top of Eau Rouge. I'm getting distracted here. I need to actually look at the apex, not the top of the hill. Down to third, feed the car in. That's better run. That's a better run. A little bit of a corner cut. Car dancing around, but we managed to control it nicely and give us a good run. In fact, we are gaining. We're going to maybe get a little bit of a slipstream here. And just look, the sun in the trees, the rays. I'm getting absolutely blinded, I think, in a second as we head into Les Combes. Yes, I can't see a bloody thing. Can we actually make the corner this time? Yes, we can. That was a nice entry. And we are gaining very, very swiftly here on what looks to be, is it the number 9 car of the blue and orange? God, just the symphony of cylinders. The sound of America. It is the number 9 with those orange wheels. Come on, hug the inside nicely. Think about a switchback possibly out of here, or maybe a run around the outside. Oh, he cuts off the inside. We have to hit the brakes. Good defending from him. This could be a challenge. We've got 2.5 laps to try and get past this car and gain as many positions as possible. I think it's just GT40s up the front now. In these classic races, even in real life, the GT40s are the dominant cars. What Shelby, Cobra, Ford, and all the people that worked on these cars back in the 60s did was an absolute masterpiece. And you can just see the driver on that number 9 working at the wheel just as much as I am to wrangle every last second that he goes wide. That gives us the place. Very nicely done. Oh, again, lots of understeering for Stavelot 1. Got to get a good run through Stavelot 2, past the house, and now up through the gears. Of course, back in the day, when these cars used to race around here, it was classic Spa. It was old Spa. The 13 or 14 or so kilometer circuit that used to run through the streets, through the hills, famous corners like the Master King, lost to history, but forever legendary. And Spa never lost its character. It's still a dangerous circuit. It's still high speed. It's still unforgiving. You sometimes forget that. You see modern Formula 1 cars. Oh, Pouhon flat. Oh, Eau Rouge flat. Oh, Blanchimont flat. Headlights on. But then you just get reminded of just how much of a challenge this circuit is when you drive the old school cars like this. Right, 2 to go here at Spa. Let's see how many more positions we can make as the sun is setting over the horizon and we are heading into the darkness. This race, as I keep referencing the real life race, starts at 4 in the evening and goes all the way through till 10 in the evening. So you get a good mixture. You get daytime, you get sunset, you get nighttime. And these cars have to be reliable to run for all 6 hours straight. And I looked at the entry list. There's over 120 cars that entered for the race, and that is very late on the brakes. Come on, down to second. Big wiggle. Just about hold it. But over 120 cars. Could you imagine that on the first lap going through Eau Rouge? The sound, the sights, the smells. When I see these sorts of cars race at Goodwood and they're going through the high-speed corners, St Mary's, Lavant, etc., You can feel the energy. That's what gets me the most, is you can feel the energy. You can see the cars moving and dancing, and it's the utmost skill of the drivers like Alex Brundle, like Sam Hancock, just to name a couple. This has to be one of the best classic racing events that there is, and again, the most underrated, not televised anywhere. I wish there was a broadcast for that. I would have sat and watched the entire 6 hours. Oh, the 27 slow up ahead. Right, now we've got to think about a move, but he's going to have a better run for us through Stablo 1. As we get a big kick of oversteer into the night now. It's really getting dark outside. We get a very nice run through Stablo 2. He's going to cut to the right. Maybe we can duck into the slipstream. Yes, we do. Oh, just listen to that engine. We're going to have to maybe think about a move up the inside here. Oh, we understeer. He forces himself off. Third gear. Not quite any room at the end. It's very hard to race in these old school cars. They're less nimble. They're less precise. You've only got one chance, really, to place your car. And once you've placed it there, you're not moving it. The braking zones being so long does mean you have a good chance to outbrake your opponent. Leader is on the final lap. 6 laps already. The race has gone by so quickly here at Spa, and just the grin on my face says it all. No idea what position we're in, no idea where we started or where we're going to finish, but all I want to do is get past this green car ahead of us. But I've got to remember, damage is on for that extra realistic approach. And just look at them just streaming up Eau Rouge. How cool of a sight is that? That's the run we needed. Much better than the 27. He's going to force us all the way to the outside. You go to check the mirrors, but this car doesn't have side mirrors. How crazy is that? It's car doesn't have side mirrors. He's still there. Oh, that's way too late on the brakes. I was too busy trying to see behind. We're going to have to take to the escape road. Oh, no. Do we keep ahead of him? Yes, we do. With a slight bit of corner cutting. Luckily, you know, no one saw that, so we can carry on chasing down what looks to be Gulf colours in the next GT40. We've got half a lap to try and get him into headlights bouncing off the walls. That's such a cool sight to see. Use all the exit and more out of No Name down to Pool once again. I think we're going to try second gear just to try and get a bit of power. Oh no, definitely not second, a bit too low. Not my finest display of driving, but these cars are... These cars are absolute monsters to try and find the pace out of. God, what I would give these sorts of cars to be a regular thing. God, what I'd love to drive these sorts of things. Online leagues, online competitive racing. Chuck esports drivers in these cars, that's what I say. Bin off GT3 cars. Bin off all these old GT3s at Spa. Put them in GT40s at Spa. Thou saw the good drivers from the great drivers. Fourth gear. Maybe we can just keep it flat if we turn in early enough. Oh, we can, but then got to brake even earlier because we're carrying the speed. I don't think we're going to have any chance of catching. Whew. The amount of moments I've had in this thing. Oh, as they're side by side up ahead, and one spun. The yellow car spun off, but he's managed to keep it ahead. Boots it out of the final corner for Gumbesh. Oh no, we spun. Woo, woo. Somehow hold it. Come on, get it to the line. Don't overtake us. Oh, the finish line's around the final corner, isn't it? I forgot about that. This is an endurance layout. Oh. Finish line's down here, and we are going to keep the position. We're running out of fuel. And across the line, and we come sick. Whew. From starting, I think, down in 24th or 25th to finish 6th. And I am absolutely shattered after that. And that was just 6 laps. I couldn't imagine doing hour, 2, 3 hour stints, sometimes 4 hour stints in this car. And I'm just going to sit here and, God, just look at them streaming up Eau Rouge, sitting here in the pit lane. Wow, wow, wow. There you guys go, and I am sweaty and out of breath now. That was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. If you have VR, if you have AC, do this. Even just GT40s. Maybe chuck a couple of other 60s Kunos cars in there. No mods needed. You could do this on console. But yeah. There we go, guys. That was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant fun. If you guys have AC, check it out. The other cars, the E-Types, the Mustangs, they all come from ACL modding group. I'll put a link to them in the description below. The GT40, of course, is Kunos Spa as well. But what an experience that is. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe if you want to as well. Sorry the videos have been lacking. I've been ill, I've been on holiday. I'm going to try and get more out soon enough. But until then, have a really awesome rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye now.